Alright, so I'm going to do some Linux interview questions. A few questions, and what are the answers? I'm basing this off top 10 Linux job interview questions by Tutorial Linux. I'll link it in the description. It's from 2016. Some things are different, some things are the same. Not different or the same. Well, I'm basing it off this video, and I plan to make more of these videos in the future, possibly with a script. So, uh, check Linux systems. What Linux kernel are we using? So we're going to do uname just by itself, gives Linux. Do uname.help. Gives us the options, and we'll just go with if you need kernel name, node name, kernel release. Let's say tech s Linux. Oh, so that's why it's a default tech s. So tech r release name. I'm using Linux subsystem for Linux WSL2, which is a Linux kernel, and that's why it is Microsoft standard. It is a Microsoft version of Linux. It's easier for me to run. It runs as an app. It starts much more quickly. Anyways, okay, part two. Show current IP address. The old version would be ifconfig. That's what I'm used to. But that doesn't work on this one. So we use the new one, IP ADR, or even just IP add. And then if you want to just single out the one interface, of course, it's IP add show ETH0. My IP address is 172.121.207.192 /20 subnet. Manage services 3. So I can remote into this. I install XRDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, X. So it would be sudo apt install XRDP tech Y, and that is installed. And then the old version, we would do service status, because now like we use the new IP address, but on this one for some reason we use the old service instead of systemctl. So it would be service XRDP status. It is not running. The new version would be systemctl, and it would be status XRDP. And there is reverse, status and XRDP are reverse. We are not using systemctl, we're using service. Which is weird because we don't use ifconfig, but we use IP address. This is a subsystem, so it'll be different. It's good to know both of them. So let's go and get that started. We'll go service XRDP start. Need root sudo service XRDP start. And we'll go service XRDP status, and it is running. Yeah, if you want to look for something, let's say I want to install a desktop, so I'd do apt cache, and then we do search. Let's say desktop. Whew. That is quite a lot. We can pipe it through grep to find what we want. Apt cache search desktop, pipe it into grep, and we'll look for XFCE. There we go. For example, XFCE4 goodies would get you enhancements for the XFCE desktop environment. XFCE by itself will give you the metadata package for the desktop. Anyways, that's how would I search the cache. How to check size of a directory. Okay, so let's do du directory, and let's do help. Oh boy. So it would be sh, I have written here. S would be summarize total of each argument, and h is human readable. So let's do du of etcs. What do we get out of that? Oh, that's a lot. Let's do du of home Corbin. What do I get? All right, let's make that readable. So du tact human readable and summarize home Corbin. There you go. 43 megs. Check for open ports. So open ports would be netstat by itself. Netstat is not installed. So let's sudo apt install net tools tacY. Alright, netstat by itself. Netstat. The rules I have here are TULPN. Now it'll give me open ports, TCP protocol, UDP protocol, listening ports, a few other options. TCP, UDP, L as in listening, P as in programs, so the PID, and N numeric, don't resolve names. So it's good to study this stuff as well. Like as I come into questions and I realize things that I'm not aware of, I can look more into it. I know there's a lot of rabbit holes. Like why does this command work? And I look into it, and I have to learn a lot more to fully understand how something is, and that's what like the mastery of what we're doing is. So let's do CPU usage. We're gonna do PS and aux, and that shows everything that's running. XRDP, Corbin root, Corbin, PS help. No, that's not going to work for that one. So you want to do man PS. And that should give you a list of what it's doing. The aux command is show every process on the system using BSD syntax. So it could be TAC AUX or just AUX. So PS aux, that shows everything. And then we're going to grep for what we want. So PS aux grep is a pipe XRDP, and that gives me things running and the CPU usage, which is at 0%. How do you mount something? Okay. Go to your mount directory. Usually there's a mount and there is a mount and a media directory. So you plug in a CD player, it'll be a media, but the mount's where you're gonna mount the options. Because I'm on Windows, I have a C, a D, and an E drive. So let's just say mount by itself. That shows everything that's mounted on. We look more into what the command does. And what we're going to do to mount something is check for mounts. How you do that, it's going to be mount. Dev is your devices, because it's Linux. Your device, your hard drive is going to be listed as a file. So it would be like SDA2 for hard disk. And then where, so you're going to do like mount / F drive. And then it's mounted. Mount a file at boot. Let's say we want to make sure that every time the computer boots, it mounts the D drive to the D mount. So the file name is ECTC stab. And we're going to cat that, see what it says. X root FS. So you would go into it with like Nano or something. Probably Vim. Vim is the one that you need to master. And it has it would be more complicated otherwise, but the file system, what to it'll have like file system and then some other options. How to look up commands. So what they always tell you is manual, 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 man. Tells you how to use man. You'll be using this for the commands if you don't know it during your like Red Hat or certification, which is planned in the future. So I'm doing this to study for myself. The man command. What I usually like to do is help for brief, but like man PS. What is PS? Reports a snapshot of current processes. Displays information about selection of active process. If you want a repetitive update the selection display, use top instead. So we quit. I just stopped it. Anyways, use top. You can also use Google. I like the help command because it's brief. I just need the options to understand it. There's also the info, which is longer than help, but not usually more brief than menu. But on this one, it is not even installed. Oh, it is installed. It almost looks like it gives me the the manual page again. Let's manual info. Read info documents. Let's quit. Let's do info man. Is reference manuals. Another thing is man K. So say I want to learn how to locate something. Locate. Oh, damn it. Man dot K locate. And it gives me different commands with locate in the name. So if I only know part of it, which is locate command, locates find files by name. Locate Corbin. Ooh, that's kind of big. I would have to use grep to sort that down. Locate. Let's try quotations. Corbin. Okay. Locate. Oh, it has access to even my computers. Let's try find tag name Corbin. And what does that give us? Permission denied. Okay, we'll cancel. Anyway, so those are the 10. Check Linux systems name, current IP address. 3, free disk space. 4. Oh, did I do free disk space? Damn it. Free disk space. Disk free. Tech AH. There you go. DF TAC help. AH human readable and all. So just DF gives you this. DF TAC human readable. There you go. We have a C, D, and E. I'm running about 175, 1,000, 1 gig, 1,000 gigs, 750 gigs. The managed services is service name status, desktop app cache search. How to check for size of directories, DU. Directory unlock, DU. What does DU stand for? Man, DU. Estimated disk use. After DU is how to show open ports. When you think ports, think netstat. Probably look more into that because I didn't even have netstat installed, so I would need to look up what the default program would have already been. CPU, but if you already knew that, and then you sat down, these interview questions are just common interview questions, and don't just learn only these interview questions. We're not doing brain dumps and learning only the exact answers to the exact questions. We want to understand and master these systems, and then demonstrate it. CPU usage is ps-aux through grep xrd. I know there's more commands than ps-aux, but that is what I've written down. Mount something is mount command. To mount something at boot, it's the etc fstab. To look up commands, you use the man command, and then the command. Info command, apropos, and man are useful for searching up commands. And if you just say I prefer to Google it, that's fine too. Okay, so thank you for this. If you ever do, if anybody does check out this video, thank you for checking out this video. And I hope this helps anyone. It's mostly for my own self-study. Um, I looked up a video that told me if I learn how to teach this stuff, that's the best way to study. Learn how to teach it. So thanks.